My vision for AMI is that we fuel the career of marketing professionals throughout their career journey. So whether they're a recent graduate or someone that sits at the C-suite, that we're there for them throughout their career journey. And I think it's also about raising the profession, the profile of the profession in both the C-suite and at the board level, as really custodians of the customer and as revenue generators, both of existing business but also growth opportunities. I joined the AMI first at the state level, working on council for a number of different years, and then I was invited to be part of the board. The reason why I do that is because I love the idea of giving back to the profession that has given me so much. And what do I bring? I think I bring a very strategic and commercial lens to the organisation. So, I tend to look at the financials and why we're doing what we're doing and how we grow as an organisation. Whilst there's an ever-increasing array of data sets and also modelling, I think it's really important to remember why we're actually building all these different data sets and connecting them, and also the models. So what are the problems that we're trying to solve here? How do they align to the organisational objectives? I think within that, whilst there's a lot of work being done with visualisation of data sets, hopefully what will happen with those is that there's a connection across all those different data sets in a much more seamless and integrated way that is much more intuitive to use as well. So hopefully that's where we end up, and you don't need to be a technical guru to actually do all that visualisation. That would be ideal. From an attribution modelling, whilst I'd love to have a connected attribution model that works in real time across owned, earned and paid media, I think there's only components of that that are probably working today. And within that in itself, even if I did get that, like most marketers would love that, I think the real power is in combining the right brain with the left brain. So looking at the creativity and the power of creativity and new ideas and imagination combined with data and insights, and being data driven in all that we're doing as well.
My overall vision is really that we should become the professional association for choice for marketers in Australia. And one of the things that I'm particularly passionate about is professionalism, and professionalism in our profession. I guess one of the challenges is anybody can really say, I'm a marketer, and hang a shingle up to say I'm a marketer, but there's a difference between that sort of person and a professional marketer in my book. And a professional, works to a code of ethics, keeps up to date with everything that's going on and so on. And then our role as the AMI, looking after marketing professionals, is really to provide the environment where we can help nurture their careers and provide them with opportunities to learn and to keep up to speed. And we offer the Certified Practicing Marketer, which is recognition of your professionalism. So, a bit like an accountant can't really call themselves an accountant unless they're like a CPA or whatever. In our space, we need to get to where the CPM designation is the gold standard for marketers in Australia. Well, I've been a member of the AMI for quite a while. In fact, I joined when I was very early in my career, and part of the reason for doing that was to learn from being, interacting with other marketers. So I've sort of been involved for quite a long time. But a few years back, I decided that it was time to give something back, and give it back to the profession that I really love and have had a great career in. So first of all, I was a coach for the emerging marketers, so I was a mentor there. Then I joined the New South Wales committee and really enjoyed my time on that committee before being co-opted onto the board, and then my fellow directors appointed me chair, and so I've done that for the past 3 years. So that was how I've got involved. What do I bring to the board? Well, I am passionate about marketing and the profession of marketing, and I think that's one thing. But I think the other thing was I was asked to go onto the board because of my sort of both marketing background but also my commercial background. and understanding around customers and bringing that sort of voice of customer to the boardroom, and in our case the voice of members, and using that to help shape what we offer back to our members. That's a great question. Now, I'm a practitioner in that space, so I've got some first-hand experience and observations. I think the first thing is we are still in our infancy. I think there are very few companies in Australia that have actually taken the steps to move to where their business is starting to get really focused on, on customers and meeting customer needs. I think that the trend will have to continue, and we're going to have to see more organisations do it. I mean, customers today have more choice, and they have much higher expectations of the companies they deal with, and it's who they choose to deal with, so because of that choice. And they're better informed. So when you've got that environment, they're not going to deal with an organisation that delivers poor customer experience. It's funny when I talk to organisations and they say, oh, we want a CX strategy. And you go, well, CX, good customer experience, is the result of orientating your business towards delivering it. It's an end result. And you get a few blank looks. Oh, isn't that just about playing and doing these things? And yeah, you can fix some things. But if you really want to be focused on meeting customer needs and delivering great outcomes, then you've got to reorientate your business. And that starts with changing the internal culture, so that the people who work there are passionate about it, that they think about the decisions that they make and how that impacts the end customer, that your policies and processes and procedures all get oriented around customer. And it's got to be led from the top. The important thing is, and what we talk about is having someone who's a really strong advocate or catalyst for change. And the logical person is the marketing director. In some organisations, they're appointing customer experience managers. But unless they're got a seat at the executive table, it's really hard to influence the changes required in an organisation to deliver those outcomes. So I think we've started to see some move. I would hope in 2019 that we'll start to see more traction coming along, not just because I work in that space, but I think that slowly, the realisation of good customer experience is more than improving the customer service. It is about all the back-end things that you need to do. Do your policies reflect a good experience that the customer's going to have? If they're interacting with your business, is it friendly to the customer? Because as I said at the outset, they have choice. They also have experiences of other organisations, and you're a consumer. You rate your experiences, and you're pretty quick to move now if you don't have a great experience. But it's not just about giving a really good service at the point of contact. That's important. But unless your organisation is aligned to deliver that, then it's going to be fairly short-lived, I think. So hopefully, moving forward, we'll see that as a trend. It's been threatening to happen over the last few years, and some companies have embraced it and have made that. We work with some companies that are, making progress towards that, which is great, and they're getting some fabulous traction. But there needs to be that sort of corporate willingness to say, okay, we have to change the way we run our business, and everybody's in this journey of getting to orientate our business around our customers.
The AMI's purpose is actually for certification of marketers, and that's via the Certified Practicing Marketer program. And that's our main overarching vision. My personal vision is I look after the accreditation board, and our vision is to actually accredit, endorse and recognise educational institutions in Australia, with our main focus being providing a safe place for students to study where they're actually also taught by professionals. And this is really important because what it means is that students can go into these educational institutions, whether it's a university or a private college, and they know the education they're getting is actually up to date, it's current, and it's delivered by specialists in the industry. Students are really concerned about, in essence, getting a job when they finish their education. And by having this program in place for these institutions, it provides a peace of mind not only for the students but also for the parents and also the institution that the quality of graduates coming through into industry is at the top of its level. I've always been passionate about marketing. Even when I was young and went to university, the first time I studied building and construction. And I never really had a passion for it. I actually chose it because everyone else I knew was in that industry. And I realised that by going back and actually studying business at university, it's something that I was really passionate about. And I worked out my passion because I was happy to actually give back and do things for free, which back in those days was unheard of. So I joined the AMI as a student member while I was currently in university. And from that, my passion for the industry just grew. So the reason I'm part of the AMI is because I really just want to give back to the industry that has, for me, always put a smile on my face. And I say to my students, if you can find something that you actually love doing, this idea of work-life balance disappears and everything just merges into one, and you're actually really happy doing whatever it is that you actually want to do. So for me, it's always been a passion because it's never felt like a job. What I bring to the AMI is, as chair of the accreditation committee, I've been a university lecturer for nearly 20 years now. And across different universities in Australia and also having taught in Shanghai, what I really bring is a strong knowledge of theory that can actually be backed up by practical application through my consulting company, and it gives me a different lens. So by this it means that I can look at the current thinking in the industry, bring this back into the AMI where we can actually then apply it at board level. And the strong links back to both the educational sector and the corporate sector give me a nice holistic view of the industry. So I'm going to answer this question in two parts. First, I'll use statistics. So we did research with the CMO white paper, and what they actually found is that 76% of the industry really wants marketers to focus on this idea of data analytics and being able to report the data back up into the corporation. And I think this is extremely important. In the current age of technology, I think we'll be there very quickly. I don't see this being an issue at all. The next issue is we had 46% of content creation and curation. And again, in the age of social media, I think the ability for a marketer to be able to take the information from multiple points from both also the company and also now our customers and curating that content and blending it together is extremely important. 36% was customer design experience. The fact that a customer can go onto your website or deal with your corporation and actually have not just an experience that is okay, but an experience that exceeds expectations and just blows them away. So that's the first part. In regards to marketing being a cost center, I actually look at it quite differently. I think we're actually, if you look at just normal business strategy, because we're actually a provider of the strategy to help sales, and sales being revenue minus the cost, we are actually a profit center because every other center generally is a cost center. So for marketing working together with sales, and I think we definitely do work together, and providing the right strategy for corporations and hitting the right target market through the marketing strategy, we actually then bring money into the corporation. And this is really important. So once we start to communicate this at the board level, we can actually then get a stronger seat at the board level. I think we need to definitely work together as corporations and as directors, and we are starting to move away from a very bureaucratic type of mindset into a post-bureaucratic type of mindset. We're actually now helping our employees from all walks of life and in all sections of the industry in our corporation actually be able to provide a link into the strategy. Yes, the strategy still comes from the top of the tree, and that's part of the role of the CEO and the board of directors. But are we a cost center? I think we actually bring the profits in.
So I've been a member of the AMI board for almost a year. I started in November last year, and the reason I joined is because I want to elevate the role of marketing in organisations. Traditionally and historically, the role of the marketer has been left to the side, as in, you know, they do some awesome activities and they take care of the company brand, but they're not seen as a strategic player or sitting on the board or sitting in the leadership roles. And I truly believe now's the time to make sure that the role of the marketer is elevated, the role is understood, and certainly it's given its due, you know, recognition. So the reason I joined the board is because I want to give back to the industry, and I truly believe it's time to elevate the marketing role within organisations. I also bring to the board my experience in working in the IT industry. I've had a long history in both local Australian roles but regional and global roles, and so I know some of the best practices that are out there, and I'm wanting to bring that into the Australian community and ensuring that the level of expertise is raised, especially around data and around AI and some of the other skills that are out there that are taking the marketing profession into the future. So my top predictions for 2019 are three. There's the growth of engaging content that is relevant for the entire business. There'll be more videos, content created rather than written text. And there will be a rise of voice search in using that as a marketing tool rather than text-based query.
So the vision that I see for AMI is very much around, well, firstly, building the pedigree that AMI has built up over many years as being the preeminent representative body for marketing professionals in Australia. And of course, you need to make sure that you keep relevant for the membership going forward. And so I see three main things around that. The first of those is around accreditation. Well, accreditation and certification of qualifications from key universities and colleges, making sure that they meet the industry's expectations. The second area is very much around skills and competencies, making sure that professional marketing people can keep up to date with skills and competencies that are needed in today's world around marketing. And the third area is very much around the recognition of the CPM, or the CPM standing for the Certified Practicing Marketer, and that element of quality that they have in the marketplace. There are many people who are in marketing, but and people take different pathways into this career, but having the CPM as being the recognised nominal as professionalism in the marketplace. Well, I think in terms of being a board director at AMI, it's very much to look at shaping the skills and the profession in Australia in terms of being that preeminent represented body, is really having the voice of professional marketing in Australia. And if I can bring my skills and competencies that I've built up over many years into the AMI as a director and really to help the profession going forward, well, that's a great position to enable me to help with. And that's a key thing that I would see. In terms of my background, well, I've had a fair amount of experience in marketing communications over 30 years. It seems like quite a while, so over 30 years. And that's been mainly in the B2B or business to business or business to government industries. And I probably have had most jobs across the spectrum within marketing, with not just around customer insights, product management, building brands in the marketplace, account management, but then also into the development of value propositions to take to customers to win work or in sales. So quite a variety across the marketplace, both in Australia, across Asia and in Europe. So in terms of predictions going forward, I've always seen marketing not so much as being a cost centre within organisations, but very much being around an engine room to retain customers and win customers to grow business. And with that light, I see there's a few things in terms of going forward. The first part is very much to get more out of existing technology, or within the profession we say getting more out of MarTech. A fair amount has been invested in terms of CRM systems or various different diagnostic systems But just as you invest in the actual technology itself, getting more out of it by some of the other elements that go around it in terms of soft skills and cultural change and the rationales to why you have some of this marketing technology is a key thing. So that was one area. The other item I see is there's some great talent coming into the profession, from those colleges and universities that come into the industry, and helping them make that transition from an academic background into a university life themselves, or from a university into an industry life. So, and taking them through the whole journey, making sure that they can keep up to date with artificial intelligence, data analytics, all those different elements, digital technology, whichever path they take, I see as a key thing that is needed in the industry as well.